Shubor nakaslem jong nongsan Hima.
Lamphang ka Ïakren darbar thawaan ka jila. Sham Pdiang banyatai ka Jingkhlad ki Nongbylla ti Dewïong. Hathang sko ka Wanrah do ba bright starwell marbanyang MLA ka VVP da ka short duration. Kani ka Jimbom Pdiang ka day namar Lamphang ulapentip Ïakren darbar bagani ka mat Ïakren kadang don ka Jingtokin. Watla Lamphang sha banyatai yakani ka mat Henry ula syapat diuba bright starwell ban Yeng ban Jingkhlad halor ka Jingkhlad ki Nongbylla ti Dewïong ka baula sot na ka wei ka kot khubor pharing namar ki pat ba ka jila ki kwa ban yo ka jubab na ka sarkar halor ka de chinja.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise under Rule 282 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to offer a personal explanation. My intent is to clarify my position as a member of this august House following the disallowance of my notice for a short duration discussion under Rule 50. This notice pertained to a matter of harrowing and urgent public importance pertaining to the news report in the Shillong Times dated 6/2/2026, titled 18 Death in the Explosion Inside Illegal Coal Mine in East Giant Hills District. Mr. Speaker, sir, my notice was not a mere political exercise. It was a response to a tragedy where initially 18 persons lost their lives in an illegal mine. When such a loss occurs, the public looks to this House for answers. My effort to bring this to the floor was rooted in my duty to ensure that the enforcement failures that led to the explosion are scrutinized and that such incident, and especially the victim families, are not forgotten. The motion was disallowed on the grounds that the matter is sub judice. While I have the utmost respect for the judiciary, I wish to clarify why I believe this doctrine should not have barred for discussion. The point in hand, firstly, is a matter of policy versus legal liability. Court of law determines individual guilt or legal damages. This assembly, however, is the only forum to discuss state-level policy failures. The question of how illegal mining persists despite judicial bans is an administrative issue, not a judicial one. Point number two, the substantial prejudice test. Parliamentary precedence clearly states that a matter is not sub judice if its discussion creates a real and substantial danger of influencing a trial. Discussing the government's failure to prevent illegal mining and transportation or provide safety oversight does not in any way interfere with the independence of the courts. Finally, point number three, preventing a governance vacuum. If every administrative lapse that results in a police case, for example, an FIR or a PIL, is deemed sub judice, this House will be effectively silenced on every major crisis in the state. We must not allow legal technicalities to become a shield for executive accountability. And in conclusion, I sought this discussion because more than 30 families are mourning, and the state silence in this House is perceived as indifference. While I abide by the chair's ruling, I feel it is my duty to the state that the rule of law is upheld when the executive is held accountable by the legislature. To treat the lives of those who tragically died as a mere legal technicality is a disservice to the mandate given to us by the people of the state. So with these few words, I will resume my seat. Thank you, sir.
Regarding the personal explanation given by the honorable member from Maulai Baba Sarwell, Marbanium, the subject matter is sub judice, as informed by the department, and therefore it was not admitted. More so, the Advocate General has also given his opinion on the matter and therefore barred for discussion in the House. This is my explanation.